Good evening, everyone. I am MJoy from Beside English 4A, and my topic is entitled Central Asian Literature. And this is my objectives. First, to define the countries of Central Asian literature. Second is to enumerate the authors of Central Asian literature. And here, as you can see, it is the Central Asian map. Central Asia, roughly defined as the region bounded to the east by the Tarim Basin in China, to the west by the Caspian Sea, and to the south by the Amu Darya or Oxus River. This region includes Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Afghanistan, Mongolia, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, and parts of Russia and China. Central Asian literature traditionally had no written form but was handed orally in the form of stories, verses and poems by traveling minstrels and bards. They often gathered in squares and performed for spare change like modern buskers. Each country in Central Asia has maintained a strong national identity, and each country seeks to bring to bear its own historical significance on the continued development of the region. There have been varying definitions of Central Asia throughout the ages based on historical connections, geographical borders, and cultural peculiarities. Let's discover in which context you might come to know Central Asia. There are five Central Asian countries that used to part of the Soviet Union. Four of them are Turkic or Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, and one is Persian-speaking or Tajikistan. On the eastern side of Central Asia is the autonomous region of Xinjiang. Some people will also include Afghanistan as part of Central Asia. Very often, this area is also referred to as Inner Asia. This term, however, incorporates a broader sweep that includes Mongolia, Mongolia, and parts of Iran. It is an area that has witnessed tremendous amount of historical incidences. It is about the most multicultural region that you can imagine. Every major religion has passed through this area, such as Buddhism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, etc. Every artistic media like sculptures, ceramics, cave paintings has also flourished in this region. Central Asian literature includes Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan is the largest country in Central Asia and the ninth largest in the world. Between its most distant points, Kazakhstan measures about 1,820 miles or 2,930 kilometers east to west and 960 miles north to south. While Kazakhstan was not considered by authorities in the former Soviet Union to be a part of Central Asia. Kyrgyzstan country of Central Asia, it is bounded by Kazakhstan on the northwest and north, by China on the east and south, and by Tajikistan and Uzbekistan on the south and west. Most of Kyrgyzstan's borders run along mountains crest. The capital is Bishkek, known from 1962 to 1926 as Bishkek and from 1926 to 1991 as Prenzey. Tajikistan country lying in the heart of Central Asia. It is bordered by Kyrgyzstan on the north, China on the east, Afghanistan on the south, and Uzbekistan on the west and northwest. The smallest amount of land among the five Central Asian states, but in terms of elevation, it surpasses them all, enclosing more entire mountains than any other country in the region. Turkmenistan country of Central Asia. It is the second largest state in Central Asia after Kazakhstan, and it is the southernmost of the region's five republics. After the Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan is the least densely populated of the Central Asian states, much of its waterless expanse is inhospitable to plant and animal life. Uzbekistan country in Central Asia, it lies mainly between two major rivers, the Sirdarya or ancient Hazartes River to the northeast and Amudarya or ancient Oxus River to the southwest. Though they only part from its boundaries, Uzbekistan is bordered by Kazakhstan to the northwest and north. Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to the east and southeast is located in the western third of the country. The Soviet government established the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic as a constituent. Now let's move on to Central Asian authors. First author, we have Nile Green. His reviews of his books have appeared in the following: The Times Literary Supplement, The Literary Review, Prospect, Time Out, as well as major newspapers across the English-speaking world from the Toronto Star to Sydney Morning Herald or Speak of the Week, in addition to South Asia and the Middle East. Primarily a historian of the Muslim communities of South Asia or Indian Pakistan from the 18th to the early 20th century. Professor Green also specializes in the wider Persianate world, including Afghanistan, Iran, and the Indian Ocean region. By training historian of religion, he has worked extensively on the history of Sufism and other traditional modes of Islamic learning and organization. His work has ranged from the forms of Islam which evolved among the tribal societies of early modern Afghans to the intersection of religion and colonial service among the Muslim soldiers of the British Empire. His more recent work has expanded into 19th century intellectual interchange between Asia and Europe, Muslim travelers in Britain, Indian Ocean studies, and the history of the Islamic book. Travel writer and novelist whose works, often set in foreign locales, explore love, memory, and the loss of faith, as well as the differences between the ideal and the real. Second, we have Colin Tubron. He was born on June 14, 1939, with the age of 83, and lived in London, England. This is one of his notable works. First, The Cruel Madness. Second, Distance. Third, Emperor. Fourth, Falling. Fifth, Night to Fire. And the last, To the Last City. Next, we have Adif Khalid. Adif Khalid has published 3 books to date: The Politics of Muslim Cultural Reform, Hadithism in Central Asia, or University of California Press, 1998. Islam After Communism, Religion and Politics in Central Asia, or University of California Press, 2007, which won the Bushnich Prize in 2008, and Making Uzbekistan Nation, Empire, and Revolution in the Early USSR, Cornell University Press, 2015, which won the Zhelnik Prize in 2016. Another book, Crossroads of History of Central Asia in the Modern Age, is on track to be published by Princeton University Press in 2021. He has also published in journals such as Central Asian Survey. And for the last one, Hamid Ismailov. He is the author of many novels, including Souverain, Yetonkyuni, Le Vagabond, Flamboyant, Toulouse Tulai, The Railway, Hostage to Celestial Turks, Googling for Soul, The Underground, A Poet in Ben Luden, and The Dead Lake. Poetry collections including Sad or Garden and Fustania or Desert, and books of visual poetry. Uzbek British writer and journalist Hamid Ismailov's work spans the end of the Soviet period and the entry of the former Soviet republics into a globalized post-Cold War world. In this talk, Ismail will speak about these themes in his own work, which tracks Central Asia's role in the changing global political and literary scene. The work will also touch on Central Asia's place in Soviet and post-Soviet literature, as well as on the multilingual nature. Ismail loves writing, which spans Uzbek, Russian, and English. And that ends my presentation. Thank you for listening.